Hey y'all, welcome to another Think Aloud Thursday. I think this might be my third one. I'm not sure though, but yeah, today's topic, quite a sad one, but yeah, we're gonna talk about death. Um, because it's been on my mind a lot lately. Um, and the main reason for that would be my cat's death. Yeah, today's the 30th, so he died 18 days ago. Um, and it was pretty weird. So, with my other pet who died, Roxy, um, at least with her, it was something we came to expect soon because her physical condition was just getting worse and worse. And yeah, like even my parents before we eventually had to put her down, which was unplanned, um, were gonna get um, my vet to do it like I think a week after um, she did die. So, you know. But yeah, anyway, yeah, with her, it was because her body gave out, and also a little bit because of suspected cancer. But with Moko, it was just so unexpected. Besides the fact that he's, or was 14 and a half years old and like diabetic and, starting to slow down. Not so much like Roxy, but just, getting old. We didn't really expect anything like that. Um, but what happened was on that Sunday, it was in the morning. Um, my dad, before I'd woken up, noticed after he went to cough up a hairball, he started like breathing real heavy, like to the point where you could see his diaphragm just go in and out, in and out. Like it was really heavy breathing through the mouth too, because usually you don't see that in cats, but he was doing open mouth breathing. But anyway, he noticed that and kind of knew something was up, but you know, hung out with him for an hour or two before I got up. And when I got up, he told me, and then I noticed Moko, and um, I mean, yeah. But the one thing I'll always remember, I think, um, even in his condition, um, I went up to him and, he just rolled over onto his side and let me rub his belly. And I thought that was super sweet. Always remember that. So thank you, Moko. But I mean, anyway, I checked on him and I didn't think it was good. um, like even before he died, I was like, I didn't think he died that day, but I was like, okay, this might be a Roxy thing where these things slowly start to happen and then eventually it reaches its like breaking point. But his breaking point was sooner than we expected. But so anyway, I just um, got ready, um, did my normal daily routine while also keeping an eye on him. And then eventually, um, I th I forget how this came up. Maybe it was my idea, maybe my mom, maybe my dad suggested it to me, I don't know, but I eventually asked my mom if we could go up to like an emergency vet and, you know, have them check him out because it was a weekend, so our hospital or our vet wasn't open. So yeah, we took him up there, in his little kennel, and we go in there, and I tell him, "Hey, my cat's breathing really hard," and they immediately just go, stat triage," and then some lady comes in and takes him away and takes him to the back, right? Um, and then, you know, they ask my mom some questions about his symptoms and any general information uh, we have on him, right? And then they took us to like a back room. They ran some tests on him, and then one of the doctors came to us and told us what they thought. And they told us a varying amount of things, but she told us that it was most likely um, cancer. And she thought that because there was a bunch of fluid in the lungs and potentially something blocking the airway. And some other things they can tell that I don't remember, or nor am I qualified enough to, you know, give an explanation on. But yeah, that's just what I remember. Um, but it's weird because, like, for me, I think the hardest part about losing an animal, maybe a person, is knowing that you'll never, ever, um, like, there's no going back, right? This will be the day, or the following day might be pretty damn soon. You're never going to see them again, at least on Earth. That hits incredibly hard. That is probably what, yeah, hits me the hardest. Not even like being there when they die. I think just knowing that there's nothing you can do and this is your moment to say goodbye. Um, yeah. One thing I always try to do is I always try to stay strong until they go, right? I don't want them to see me a mess because I feel like in some way that might mean we're giving up on them. But I just couldn't hold back my tears. I wasn't bawling or anything, but I was tearing up quite bad. Yeah, that sucked. But we eventually left and they did some more tests on him, right? So while they were doing that, we just did what we were going to do or planning on doing for the day. It was some other things. The only one I remember is we went to like a family reunion and yeah, we told him there. But yeah, so I think, oh yeah, we also went to a restaurant, like a breakfast. Or was that after he died? I'm not sure. No, I think it was the day of. But yeah, after the family reunion, we drove home and they gave us another call and said that, um, it wasn't looking good. They're trying their best, but it might be best for us to go up there and say our goodbyes to him. So we thought about it some and decided that we should head up there immediately. So I drove to get my stepsister and I took her back home and then we all drove up together. And then we reached the final moments with him. Um, we get there, we go in, and then they take us to this room. Um, they ask us what we would like to do with his remains and some other things related to, you know, his passing and the aftermath of it. Um, and then once that was done, they went to get him and they brought him out to us and he was wrapped up in a little blanket like a baby. And I think for my mom that really hit hard because she always loved cuddling with her or him, sorry. And would always like cradle him or just have him in her lap, kind of like a baby, especially with like the cradling thing. So yeah, but right then and there, we said our goodbyes to him, and yeah, they put him down. Um, yeah, I love you, Moko. I hope you're doing great up in heaven. Say hi to Roxy for me. But yeah, so that's that. Um, I'm even talking about it now. It's pretty sad, but one thing I never thought I would be the fact that I'm a quick griever. I don't grieve as long as I think I do. Like with Roxy, I thought I would be out of commission for like weeks, and I mean like 3 to several more weeks, right? But I was fine after 3 days. Um, I was incredibly sad, but I could still probably do um all the normal things, right? Like going to work, school, and all that. But with Moko, um, it actually only took that night. After I woke up the next morning, I was I was fine. Still a little sad during certain moments of the day, but yeah. I always grieve way quicker than I think, but I mean, yeah. Rest in peace, Moko. But I'm just glad I got to say goodbye to him. I wouldn't want him to die. That's what I'm afraid of, because I want to move out of this country someday or move out of the state I'm in. But I'm always worried that if something happens to my pet and I'm not there, whew, that's gonna hurt a lot. Because I do want to say goodbye to them. I mean, they deserve that much for being awesome. But, I mean, yeah, it also gets me thinking too. I think their deaths, while not ideal in a lot of ways, I would want a death like that. How do I explain myself? You know, death's a really weird thing, but I think their deaths were beautiful in that all their loved ones, which would be, my family, were by them both times, with my dog and my cat. And each and every one of us got to say goodbye. That's a death I want. But given the lifestyle I envision myself to have and kind of desire to have, I don't know if I'll get that. Because I'm not too keen on getting married and having kids. Maybe if I meet a wonderful lady, that'll just come naturally, right? But I don't know. I'm not gonna seek something like that out, unless it happens naturally, right? Um, but I mean, yeah, I'm just kind of worried I'll die alone. That's it. But yeah. So my ideal death would be similar to Moko, I'd say. With Roxy, her body gave out, and also the cancer thing. Um, I mean, that wouldn't be too bad too. Like if I broke my back or something and there was nothing they could do, getting put on hospice with some loved ones, that's good too. But my death, if I were to choose one, would be to cancer at like an old age, maybe in my 80s or 90s. Um, I think it's an unpopular choice if I had to um, wager, just because I feel like a lot of people would want like a quick death, like a car crash or um, like a bomb or something. I don't know, just something that happens instantaneously. You don't even know. With cancer, though, it goes on for a while. However, I kind of want to know that I'm gonna die so that I can get ready. um, be ready to die. You know, everything I want to do, just try to get it done. You know, my bucket list or whatever before I die. Um, you know, um, say all my goodbyes to everybody I want to say goodbye to. Um, and then once it reaches a point where I can't go on any longer, I have a bunch of loved ones surrounding me to say their goodbyes to me, just like I did, or just like my pets did. You know, that's a good way to go out. Because also cancer, unless it, as far as I'm aware, unless it I think that's a word, metastasizes to your bones, it's pretty painless. In fact, like a lot of people get stage 4 cancer and they don't even know it. It's just like other symptoms, right? Um, yeah, but that's an unpopular choice. I don't think a lot of people want to die to cancer, but if I had to pick a way to die, I'd pick that. I think it's the most symbolic. I think it's the most beautiful. It just wraps everything up in a nice little bow tie, in my opinion. I don't know. But, I mean, yeah, I've been thinking a lot about death for a variety of reasons. Another one is I've been playing Persona 3 Reload, and that game's all about death. But I'm not going to touch upon that game too much since it's pretty irrelevant. But, that, well, kind of. It's been making me think more about it, but I mean, it's just a video game, right? A damn good one, but I mean, yeah, anyway, this video's gone on for far long enough. Um, but yeah, thank you all for watching. Um, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed.